Welcome, friends, to the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour with your hosts, Sig Bisley and Colt Mauser. Before we get started, please be sure to like this video and subscribe for more content just like this. Now, let the animation appreciation commence.
It's that time, once again.
Holiday weekend, baby.
The best.
For those of us in the U.S., anyway.
Can't wait. But before that,
We got work to do.
we're going back in time. This is the all 90s edgelord episode.
Yeah. I think we have more than one of those, but
No, this is going hard in the paint.
yeah, people underrate the edginess of Bio Hunter.
Anyway, so we got Bio Hunter later. We got question of the day,
Question of the week.
and we got
Question of the month.
question of the year,
There you go.
and we got whatever the hell I watched this week. Pretty sure I'm caught up on almost everything.
Yeah, well, we watched Shield Hero and Legend of Galactic. Well, a couple episodes of Legend of Galactic Heroes, getting caught up on that too, so we can talk about that.
AIM's the only thing I didn't get caught up on.
Yeah.
Anyway, next week. Oh, we still haven't finished fucking Tiger and Bunny yet either.
Oh, yeah, season 2. Yeah, we should finish
So we'll
that.
do that next week too. Anyway, before we get to any of that crap, time for the news.
The news. All right, well, I'm not going to get too excited about this, but it's good news.
Curb your excitement.
The Hunter x Hunter manga, or Hunter x Hunter, sorry, I'm not supposed to say the X.
I always
It's actually
say
going to
X.
return.
For one volume.
Yoshihiro Togashi says he's going to do it.
Oh, God, just fucking finish it, you lazy
He's got
chud.
rough drafts for 10 chapters, which is, the typical that you would get in like one volume.
Like
so.
I said, he's going to do
One
one
volume.
and that's it.
Yeah, I don't know why he's gotten so. I really wish he would take the Mike Mignola Hellboy early 2000s approach, where he's like, screw drawing, I'll just write it and get somebody else to draw it. Like, yes, I would prefer to at least get the content and I care about the story rather than, well, even though Hellboy kind of went to shit, but I care about the story more than your manga art, and I kind of just want to see the anime finished. So
Isn't he married to Rumiko?
yeah, no, he's married to the woman that did Sailor Moon. I can't remember her name.
Either way, I know he's married to
Not Rumiko Takahashi.
a woman that
Rumiko
made
Takahashi is a
lot of money.
workhorse. Goddammit,
Yeah, she don't have time for
she ain't got time to play.
no mess.
Shit.
Anyway, I knew he was married to somebody who made a lot of money doing something, so he's probably not that motivated. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly made enough money himself between Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter, and then married to the woman who's Sailor Moon. Like, it's not like he needs the money.
Exactly.
He ain't going broke. Maybe we need to get him a nice cocaine habit. Oh, it's Japan. It's so hard.
Yeah, I know.
But then he would need the money, and then maybe he would actually have the energy to draw the book.
Dr. Hell needs to sneak up on Japan with Mexico.
Pretty much. Import Colombia
Right.
wholesale. Just float Colombia over, detach it from South America.
I heard you guys need some stimulants.
I could see it happen. That does sound like Dr. Help. I got a short story idea. I think that needs to be written.
Yeah, right.
That needs to happen.
If I could draw, man, I'd be drawing that comic right now.
Oh, fucking I'll pay somebody to draw it. That'd be amazing. Anyway, moving on. Next bit of news. This is more good news. So we talked a long while ago, about Go Tanabe's H.P. Lovecraft adaptations.
Yes,
which are
they're
really good.
Fucking
There's
fantastic.
3 volumes out in the U.S. It's 2 volumes are At the Mountains of Madness, Part 1 and Part 2. And then there's 1 volume that's like, is it The Hound? And that's not Haunter of the Dark, but there's like 2 or 3 stories in the one.
Yeah.
In the one story. I can't remember which ones it was. I read it a while ago. I got to reread it to tell you the truth. Oh, here it is. Here's the list. The Hound, The Temple, and The Nameless City. And then the At the Mountains of Madness one. Now, he's done more, right? He's done Color Out of Space. He's done Haunter of the Dark. He's done The Outsider. He's done Shadow of Time. And he's done Call of Cthulhu. So I would like these all licensed, please.
Yeah, for the love of
Dark
Christ.
Horse. But at least they have licensed the Shadow Over In's Mouth adaptation he did.
Nice.
Which is another very classic story. So
good.
I don't know if there's maybe rights issues or something with the other ones that they haven't licensed them, or maybe they're just gonna do it later. Or I don't know. I mean, maybe they didn't.
Nobody
sell as well.
even owns the rights for Lovecraft.
No, but maybe someone's got the rights exclusively to do comics. It's public domain.
That's what I mean. It should be public domain.
It should be. It's kind of like The Shadow, right?
Which is why like every piece of shit makes a fucking
or Conan.
Like when they're done shitting on Lovecraft for being racist, like every asshole makes a stupid Lovecraft game because they don't have to pay for the licenses.
Yep, it's true. So anyway, that is going to be coming out at some point. Like I said, I would say if you haven't bought the other ones, go buy them. They're excellent. And then
At the Mountains of Madness is fucking amazing.
It's really good.
He does such a good job. Like, I mean, Lovecraft is great at descriptions, so it's not hard to figure out what stuff looks like. But just transferring it from an idea to
the art's
an
fantastic.
actual like image is very.
The only bad part, and we said this when we reviewed it at the time, was it can be hard to tell certain characters apart sometimes because there's a reason in manga characters have crazy designs, right? Like makes it very easy to tell them apart. Whereas when they're drawn more realistically, it was a little hard. Like everybody's in the same kind of parka, everybody's got the same kind of hat. Like,
are you sure he's not just racist and he thinks all white people look the same?
I mean, it's possible. It's entirely possible. I think if I were an online journalist, that's exactly how I would write it up. But anyway, it's going to come out in one omnibus volume, so awesome. Look forward to that. Shadow over Innsmouth is a cool story. Go read that in advance. Go read the story. It's public domain. You could get it if you got a tablet or an e-reader or whatever. You can just download it.
And get it for
you
free.
can download it for free, or there's, I think I paid for Solomon Kane, all of it. I paid like 40-something cents or $1.
Yeah, there's
just to get a better formatted version.
Just compile it.
Yeah, it's compiled and it's formatted better than some of the free ones you can find. But regardless, check them out. I mean, Lovecraft has some interesting stuff. His writing style takes a little bit of getting used to, but
so wordy.
Besides that, The Mountain of Madness, they're all short stories, so check it out. All right, moving on. I've freaking licked Lovecraft's taint enough.
Stinky.
Cuckoo's Stones Island. More stuff's coming out, so as it ramps up,
it's back, baby.
More stuff is out, and there's a clip out, and you get to see my boy, the Schrodinger's is he alive, is he dead of the Gundam universe, Makube. Or Makube.
Yeah.
I don't know how you want to pronounce it. Is he alive, is he dead? Don't know, but he's going to be in Cuckoo's Stones Island, so that'll be pretty cool. Always an interesting character. Kind of a bitch boy for Cassilia, but bit of a weirdo. Got killed in the anime version, or in the TV series version, I should say, and lived in the movie version. So you decide which one's canon.
Yeah, I don't really know what they use as canon, but I don't think it's ever mattered before because nobody really wants to.
He never showed up. Yeah, he didn't. I will say this: he doesn't show up in Zeta. He doesn't show up on Axis. He doesn't show up in any of those other side stories that take place after. So I'm going to assume he's dead or he just fucked off, and it doesn't matter. Yeah. He's collecting vases somewhere else. Anyway,
everybody's gonna have
go check that out. And there's a bunch of media out for Cuckoo's Stones Island. So if you're into that old school Gundam stuff, hey man, go check it out. It's gonna be cool.
I can't wait to see everything reanimated. I love that.
Oh hell yeah! Especially when it's the worst animated episode of Gundam ever.
They're probably just doing it out of spite.
Probably.
They're definitely gonna make a whole movie out of that one episode of Robotech.
Hey man, Char's gonna show up.
Across.
Char's gonna show up too, so that's gonna be cool shit.
Hell yeah!
You gotta get Shuichi Iketo while he's still on the right side of the dirt.
Still kicking.
All right, so moving on. I don't know how to feel about this. I'm a little worried. So, Speed Racer is getting a new live-action series, but it's going to be on Apple TV.
Boo.
J.J. Abrams is somehow involved.
Boo.
And it's modern day.
Boo.
So I'm a little afraid.
Say what you want about the Wachowskis. That was like a pretty dope
adaptation. I like that movie. I know a lot of people like to shit on that movie. I like that movie. That movie was good.
Speed Racer, like, it's not fucking Shakespeare. Like, I think they did a good job.
Now, Abrams is just executive producing, so I don't, it looks like
I want him to executive produce the center of the sun.
The showrunner is the guy that did Get Shorty and Snowpiercer, so nothing jumps out there is, terrible.
No.
And the writer is a guy who worked on Westworld, but I don't know which season of Westworld, and that makes a big difference. If it's the first season,
yes,
that's a good sign. If it's anything but the first season, that's scary. So I'm interested to see where this goes. I like the movie. Like I said, if you haven't seen the movie, it's kind of forgotten. Go track it down. Go check it out. It's pretty cool.
it's
on the shelf over
very,
here.
it's like super cartoony.
Yeah, I thought they captured the essence of the cartoon very well.
Yeah, like I don't know how you're gonna make like a serious. Are they just gonna make it like a cop show? Like,
I have no idea how they're going to adapt it. Who knows?
I'm sure it'll have nothing to do with speed
I am
racing.
curious to check it out, but I'm not going to hold my breath that it's going to be any damn good.
And I'm sure as fuck not paying money for Crapple TV, so
No,
that'll
no.
be an interwebs.
Unfortunately, I will have to
Yar to tar to tar.
sail the high seas on that one, I think.
I give fucking Apple money. They eat a dick.
I concur with that assessment.
Sorry, everybody who's not.
Sorry, iPhone slaves. sorry, not sorry. All right, moving on. Another bit of news here, and this is just kind of cool, and I mentioned it because you should go check out the artwork. Tetsuo Ohara, the man who drew Fist of the North Star,
Hell yeah.
has done an illustration for an album by Junretsu. I guess they have a new single. He did the CD art.
Awesome.
It is very Fist of the North Star looking, as you would imagine. It's cool as shit, man. It's a really cool piece of art. I like it quite a bit. There's not much else to say about that, except that go check out this piece of art. It's out there. It looks cool. Junretsu, Tetsuo Ohara, Fist of the North Star style. It's an awesome piece of art. Go check that shit out. All right, moving on. So this is a bit of interesting news. So there's a bunch of movie studios, looks like 13 of them, are suing 3 people who produce these summaries of those movies, like 10-minute summaries, right? They called them fast movies, where, it's basically like you could watch the movie, all the major plot points of the movie in 10 minutes.
So it's just edited down.
Yeah, so they're claiming copyright infringement. They're trying to get a bunch of money out of them.
I doubt they make that much money on them. So
yeah. It's a copyright infringement case here. Will it go anywhere? I don't know. I don't know copyright law very well, especially not in Japan. I know a little bit about it in the U.S. It's interesting. Is it fair use? If I take it and edit it down to 10 minutes, but it serves essentially the same purpose as the movie, is that fair use? I'm not so sure it is. Right? You could edit it down to 10 minutes and then do commentary on it, and you should be able to do that under fair use, right? Sometimes YouTube will flag things like that, but that's because it's automated and it's garbage, and then the manual review can be garbage too. Looks like Japan might actually charge them too, criminally.
Huh.
For which is crazy to me. In the U.S., I don't. Highly unlikely you get any criminal charges for this. You could certainly get sued into the ground, but it'll be curious to see what happens. Again, copyright law, I don't know much. I do know that copyright law in Japan tends to be looser than it is in the U.S.
Yeah, it is looser almost everywhere except here.
And I know that this is on the line, right? I'm not maybe a copyright lawyer would tell me you're an idiot, and it's clearly not fair use, or it clearly is fair use. But to me, it's might be, might not be.
Yeah,
probably not, because it serves the same purpose. It's doing the same thing. You know what I mean? You're not providing commentary. You're not really adding value, I suppose. You have to argue, well, I'm adding value because I'm reducing time. But
there's definitely people that do that over here. Similar things. They'll just post
for sure
huge chunks of anime episodes. Or
post the whole thing and it's a reaction video where they make a couple funny faces and that's about it, or they wear a low cut top and that's just it.
More of that, but
so we'll see what happens here. I'm just curious to see where this goes. It's it's a curiosity thing. So keep our eyes peeled and we'll report back on it whenever the hell it gets resolved, which probably won't be for a long time.
Honestly, they've pretty much nuked most reaction channels now.
Well,
that
yeah, they're
kind of
all
thing.
demonetized pretty
Yeah.
much. I mean,
Alright.
God, we stopped posting clip reels of anything because they'd hit the copyright system all the time.
Oh, it was a nightmare
Even though there's
to get
no
anything to
sound,
upload, yeah.
even without sound, and it's clips of old stuff, man. They forget about it. They don't care.
Oh, it was impossible. You had to try like so many stupid tricks just to get it through.
It
and
just became not worth it.
It was not worth the time.
All right.
Go watch the goddamn thing.
Yeah. Moving on. This is a bit of interesting news that I'm a little worried about this. So, Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, which obviously invests in things, has acquired 5% of Nintendo.
Elon got money from them for Twitter too, so they're getting their tendrils in like too much stuff.
I'm a little worried because
they're fucking evil.
Well,
That's why I'm
and
worried.
Nintendo has been a very good, neutral, non-censorship company for a while now.
Yeah.
Right? Like they, unlike Sony and to a lesser extent Microsoft with Xbox, they haven't been censoring games. Like, and there's a lot of games that come out on the Switch unedited, whereas they get edits if they're on the PS4, PS5, whatever. So I don't like the idea that a country like Saudi Arabia that is obviously going to be wanting to censor things, especially, lewd things from Japan.
Yeah. Does not bode well.
Yeah, it's, I don't like censorship no matter which party it comes from, right? I don't care if it comes from the religious zealots. I don't care if it comes from the woke zealots. Like, it's all bad. So a censorious nation like Saudi Arabia getting a stake in Nintendo, a fairly substantial stake in Nintendo,
that's kind of a lot.
is a little scary. So we'll see if anything happens out of that. Maybe they're not going to do anything. Maybe they just know Nintendo's going to make money and they're going to just make money.
Yeah, I think it's probably more of that. I think they see the oil money drying up, and they're just starting to
It could be just
diversify their bonds, if you will.
Yeah, perhaps that's the case, but something to keep an eye on. It does worry me a little bit. So, all right, moving on. Final story of the day, and this is woe be unto you if you have some product that's going to be judged at the new International Animation Festival in Nagata. Because Mamoru Oshii is going to be the judge.
Oh, Jesus.
And look, it could be worse. It could be Hayao Miyazaki.
It's true.
Who has famously said anime was a mistake. It is very difficult. Oshii's still pretty bad, though. Very exacting. So,
he's not gonna sugarcoat it.
Yeah, it's gonna be savage, I suspect. Although in the most Japanese polite savagery possible, right?
Which is almost worse. I'd rather get yelled at.
It is worse. Oh my God, it's
so
brutal.
Then politely shamed.
It's so brutal. So anyway, this festival is not taking place till March of 2023. Again, he's judging it. I suppose if he likes it, I'm gonna go find what the stuff he likes is and check it out because he does have a discerning eye, I suppose. I'm sure whatever he likes will have a lot of long pans of cities and African throat singing.
Yes, lots of it
to go with it. But anyway, that's it, man. That's the news.
The news is over. Okay, what did I catch up on? Oh, I caught up on the Executioner Way of Life. Still entertaining. I like all the time shenanigans.
I feel a buck coming on.
No, not really. I mean, I can't think of any butts. Nah, still good.
Okay, so
I mean, nothing. Without spoiling it, I can't really get into like what is going on, but time shenanigans are good.
Okay, so we got some time travel, non-DeLorean related time travel going on.
Yes.
Okay. What else?
It just like they flush the story out way more, so you're not stuck with that whole,
Sure.
thing. And they basically started like a new arc. It was like them versus the crazy church that was, murdering all the people from the other world.
Yep.
And, well, I mean, it wasn't the whole church, but you know what I mean. And then they've started like kind of a new arc where there's this like evil cabal of, it's basically the WEF of their world.
Oh, great.
You know, just running shit from the shadows.
You ease the bugs.
And they're trying to, like, secure people with powers so they can, standard shit. Anyway, it's still good. Still watching it.
All right. Check that one out.
Still
the Executioner Inner Way of Life. What about Black Rock Shooter? Caught up on that?
They kind of not really started a new arc, but they dealt with, like, the main villain, basically, and now it's, like, on to, now they gotta deal with the nanites and shit.
Now it's an interlude before the big battle.
Yeah, apparently, like, the nanites are, like, ruled from the moon somehow.
Oh, fucking moon. It's always the guy that... Fucking Moonanites, man.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it's a problem. Some 8-bit assholes up there fucking with you.
At any rate, it just, like, kind of kicked into serious business gear. They're not fucking around with small fries anymore. It's on to, like... there's a chick that's basically... She could control the nanites, and she's kind of like the big bad right now.
Okay.
Anyway, still thumbs up. I just love that aesthetic, too. Like,
Black Rock Shooter's always been about looking cool.
Yeah,
if nothing else.
So, I mean, if nothing else, it has that.
All right, so Black Rock Shooter, check that one out. Still good. Love After World Domination.
Oh, yeah, that's still fun.
Nothing particular to report?
Nah, I mean, you're coming down after the beach episode, which was epic. But, yeah, I mean, it's, like, still same standard stuff, still funny.
Okay, so it sounds like not too much going on this week.
Nah, I mean, it's just shenanigans.
So
more gags, more shenanigans. Enjoyable watch, but I mean, it doesn't really have a through thread, really.
Yep.
I mean, usually series like that, they'll have, like, the last 3 episodes, they, like, try to tie shit together.
It's going to donk around, and then I know exactly the type of show you're talking about.
But
all of a sudden at the end, like, the overarching plot exists.
I still dig it.
Okay. We did watch Rising of the Shield Hero.
Yep. That is, like, much better.
It is, yes.
It's back to basics.
That turtle arc was not good.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is. It just fell off. Like, it was just
They
not...
probably should have done it in, like, 2 episodes, and it would have been fine.
Yeah, I feel like
felt stretched.
I've never read the manga, but I would imagine that's probably, like, 2 pages of the manga.
Or
it's
the
kind of like
novels or whatever, yeah.
It's kind of like the farmhouse from Walking Dead.
Oh, nothing is
where it was
interminable.
literally like 2 or 3. There's like a chapter of the comic, like 2 or 3 pages or something.
No, man, it's an entire season.
And then they dragged it out to an entire fucking season. Anyway, I won't get on that.
So, yeah, it was good. I like seeing him kind of problem solve again. Kind of going... It's an interesting story idea where, like, he's basically starting from scratch again, but with experience this time and knowledge that he didn't have the first time. So he's able to more quickly adapt and more quickly, like, ramp up his abilities.
Oh, when he immediately figured out, like, he could sell these magic things to these guys for, like, crazy money.
Yeah. Oh, and they figured out they could level each other up and do all sorts of different stuff with different items from each other's world would react differently on each other. Him and I can't remember the girl's name, but the girl whose world they're in right now.
Yes.
Like, if he gave her an item from his world, it was like, oh, it'll heal you. It might give her XP. And,
yeah, exactly.
It just does something different. So they were trying that shit out. So it's a good, like, problem-solving kind of thing to watch. I don't know. I like it. It's a little video gamey, but that's kind of the point.
It's back to basically what made that show good to begin with. So
yeah, and they have some stakes. They still haven't found Philo. She's still missing, and freaking Raftalia just got probably captured. Hard to tell.
Yeah,
she got separated from the rest of them.
Yeah, who knows?
So you can see they're setting up kind of the pieces, and Dickhead McDickhead Sorcerer's back, gloating and being a dickhead.
That was like a different sorcerer. That's like one of his.
No,
lackeys.
but the guy, his voice was in the last at the end of the episode. Yeah, because there was a different flunky for that sorcerer, and then the original guy who was taking control of the turtle was at the very end. He didn't show up, but there was a voiceover. Yeah. He was projecting his voice, being an asshole.
Never trust
a you wizard. Fell into my trap. Like, oh Jesus Christ, not this kind of character again.
Yep.
Makes you really hate him. Another villain that you actually hate.
Yeah,
and is kind of irredeemable. I don't care about him.
Oh yeah, no, he needs to have his head removed.
Oh yeah. I said it yesterday, man. I would warn the people there, like, I am going to do horrible things to you. I hope you understand. Like, you touch a hair on her head, I'm gonna simp. Like, it's gonna be like I'm going to crucify your asses on the Appian Way, 1 a mile.
He'll do it too.
It's going to be a problem. And yeah, it's not going to end well for them, I don't think.
Nah.
All right, what else? Legend of Galactic Heroes. So somehow there's like 4 episodes out. I think some weeks they're actually releasing multiple episodes.
I think so, because we should have been that.
Yeah, we are
behind.
not that many weeks behind. So we watched a couple of them. They were I don't remember the episode titles, but they're the 2 titles where Yang Wen-Li gets called back to Heinesen for an inquiry.
Oh yeah.
So it was an interesting idea because it's basically like the interplay between the military and the politicians, which, you know, that show set up before because there was a whole military coup the year before.
Yeah.
All right. That Yang Wen-Li had stopped. So Yang Wen-Li's a huge hero. You know, he basically saved the entire free planet's ass. They wouldn't even exist anymore. The Empire would have took him over if it wasn't for him. But, you know, some politicians feel threatened by that. So, you know, they kind of, even though he's like the lead admiral, the fleet admiral or whatever, they drag him back.
They would be so fucked without him.
For an inquiry. And then eventually he's just like starts trolling the shit out of them.
Yeah.
He's just calling them out of their bullshit. Like, listen, you stupid politicians. Like, fuck off. This is ridiculous. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. He's just like, I'll just resign. I have no time for you anymore. You're pissing me off.
I assume that he's like gonna resign, and then, you know, they're gonna fucking invade Iserlohn.
Iserlohn. Yeah, well, he was heading back to Iserlohn at the end of the episode. Well, no, he was having dinner first, but then he was going back to Iserlohn.
Yeah.
Because they did get word that other fortress, I can't remember the name of the other fortress, but the Empire did, a few episodes ago, we talked about they were going to teleport this fortress in. They teleported it in. It's like it's like the Death Star. It's a fucking moon, basically.
Massive.
They freaking warped it in, and now it's just sitting out in front of Iserlohn, like, oh shit! All right, well, we got to do something about that.
Yeah, you can't just like let a Death Star hang
But I like
out.
how the show works too. It's not like, oh, it's going to show up and then immediately like someone's going to win. Like, no. This is going to be long and drawn out. It's going to take a while.
Well, plus it's like it's there, but it's still wicked far away. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It probably takes hours for like missiles or anything.
Yeah, and it's just sitting out there. It didn't do anything yet. So, yeah, interesting. I really like where it's going, and then, you know, I can't wait to catch up on I think there's 2 more episodes we got in the queue to watch. Where, you know, that shit's going to pop off. So it's gotten through kind of the slow phase where it's done a bunch of character building and back to some more action. So that the show does a really good job of pacing that, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it does. They don't give you too much or too little.
Good pacing, good writing. Like, I don't know. I mean, granted, it's old at this point, but since the story is from the 70s and 80s, and the original series was from the 80s and maybe early 90s. Anywho, what else? Did you watch anything else?
I finished 86.
Okay.
I finally watched the second. Well, it wasn't technically the second season. It was like the second half. They just broke it up into.
Sure. They do that a lot of shows.
Seasons.
Yep.
It was like the second season was like it was really only like 10 or 11 episodes. There was 3 clip episodes in there. I don't know why.
They just padded.
It seems like it did not feel rushed or weird at all. So I assume they just got money for 26, but they just kind of ended it where it needed to end.
If I got money to do 13 more episodes and I didn't really have 13 episodes worth of material, I would much rather they spend more money on the episodes they do, right, and just do 3 clip episodes than what the US does, what every fucking Netflix show has done is like just expand out and be boring as shit for like 3 or 4 episodes.
No, it was not bloated at all. It was weird because
that's smart.
Basically the main character from the first season or the first half was the Imperial chick. No, it's the Republic. They're the Republic.
Okay.
The Empire's the one that got killed by their own robots. But anyway, so it turns out there are other countries out there.
Besides these 2.
Yeah. That
very big O of them.
The last bunch of 86 that are still alive, they like stumble upon this other country, and it basically just follows them. Like the commander from the first one, like they kind of cut to her every once in a while, but you get almost none of what's going on like while, you know, they're separated.
Okay.
But it's really, really well done. I can't like recommend it hard enough.
Yeah, I'll have to go and watch it.
It's just got that classic like mecha anime feel, and it's like super serious business. They don't sugarcoat anything, But at the end of the day, it has like a really good ending.
So Gasaraki with a better ending?
Yes.
And
No,
not-
it has an excellent ending.
And not an ending about like wheat futures or whatever the fuck that ending was about in Gasaraki?
Oh God, what was that? Was that Takahashi?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, God, he does that with everything. His shows are so fucking good too, but there's always like
Blue Gender had a better ending at least.
But his like when he does real world stuff, it's always like way too real. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like stock market shit. Like
It's like
whatever.
he's simping for Oshi or something.
Yeah, right. But anyway, it's so good. It just has everything you would want out of a series like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been getting a
And
lot
it
of play.
doesn't have a miserable ending. It's like it's very, very solid.
Good. All right. Yeah. 86. So go check it out. It's definitely streaming on Crunchy. It's probably streaming all over the goddamn place.
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty popular.
No, it was like it slipped through the cracks like when it was new, and I vowed to go back and watch it because it looked really cool, and I was rewarded for my patience.
Yeah. Very nice. Maybe we'll watch it
Fantastic.
tomorrow morning. Not the whole thing, because that would be quite a bit. I've done a full 26 episode series a day.
Yeah,
but
it's like 23.
Or 23.
all in
That's
all,
still, even when you cut out openings and endings, like, yeah, I could watch 23 episodes of One Piece, but those episodes are really like 15 minutes long once you cut out all the garbage.
Yeah.
But not, or Black Clover for that matter. That's very similar.
Yeah. I thought they might have like cheaped out and just not animated, like not wanted to animate what she was up to while they were in the other country, but it was like they just did like a quick like kind of recap of what she was up to. And honestly, it wasn't anything exciting.
Maybe that's room for a side story someday. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really not necessary. though.
OVA episode.
So they did a good job. Like it was really not.
That's the perfect thing Japan would
necessary at
do.
all.
Like, oh, it's an extra OVA episode they'll release with like the fucking Blu-ray or whatever.
Oh yeah, when she's just like dicking around back of the Republic.
Yeah, slice of life or whatever.
Well, the Republic gets completely like the fucking AI bots, like they just lay this huge siege on like every country, and the Republic gets like fucking wiped out. So you kind of want to know what happened to her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At any rate, watch that shit. Is good. Was there anything else? I can't.
I think you've done a good job of covering
Yeah, I think it's everything.
everything big. So, very good. I think it is time then for question of the week.
Question of the week. Okay, since it's Edgelord 90s episode,
It is.
I was thinking about how like sensibilities have changed drastically in the last few years, and how like 90% of stuff we used to watch back in the 90s would not play right now.
Well, would it or would it not? It would get
Exactly.
killed in the media. It would get excoriated, and a bunch of people would whine about it on Twitter, but it might actually do great. But anyway.
So I was thinking, give me a couple, and it doesn't have to be just because they're edgy. But just give me a few that like would not fly today.
Ooh, anime from the 90s that wouldn't fly. Do you have one in mind? You should start.
I'm going to give
me
you
a minute to think.
a mountain.
Okay, but just give me one.
Pretty much anything Go Nagai has ever done would not fly today. For a variety of reasons. A, it's way too fucking
And that
manly.
shit was from the 70s.
Way too manly.
That's not even the 90s.
I wouldn't say it's filled with misogyny, but you know they pretend
Yeah.
it is. Way too much Sayaka upside down on a cross, topless.
Yeah. So to make it 90s, you're talking about the adaptations of Go Nagai stuff that came out in the 90s and was popular.
Yes.
Fair enough. Yeah, the Cutie Honey had the 90s OVA.
Well, because in the 90s, they like ramped it up. Because the original animations Go Nagai did in the 70s, like you could sneak
No,
anything
but the
past
manga
it.
had some stuff in it, boy.
But like a lot of the 90s stuff, pretty savage.
Okay. What would not fly today at all? Let me think about
Modern sensibility.
Yeah, let me think about because some stuff would. Like Tenchi Muyo, if it came out today, would be fine. Like, no problems there.
I think so.
Although, harem shows in general,
I
you
was
know.
just gonna
but they
say-
still release them all the damn time, so I think they would be fine. Let me think.
Woke Golds do not get too deep into anime.
Yeah.
Like, they will stick with what's super popular, but, like, a lot of shit just slides through the cracks.
Yeah.
The cracks.
Like sweat on a hot day.
Slide through the cracks.
What? Oh, man. What is a 90s edgelord thing? This isn't 90s. I think it's actually early 2000s. I was thinking Elfen Lied.
I was gonna say Elfen Lied too.
I think
it doesn't have to be 90s. We can slip into early 2000s too. Like,
yeah. Okay.
or
that
you can
makes it
even
a little
go
easier.
into like late 80s too.
Elfen Lied. Elfen Lied is one for sure. Like just the hyper violence. I mean, granted, Japan would still make that today. So this is a hard one just because like Japan would probably still make it, but it would never get popular over here.
I didn't mean would fly in Japan. I meant like here.
Yeah, it would offend everybody.
What would get the reeing going?
What's etchy? Anything etchy?
Boobtastic. I remember that weird like extra episode in Exzel Saga that was like weird and rapey at the end.
Yes.
That was deeply disturbing.
Yes. Could they do like Infinite Revias today? Like Lord of the Flies in space.
I do love a good Lord of the Flies.
That's
like
that's a little edgy. I don't know.
That's like one of my favorite genres, like weird subgenres.
I think that's one of the best ones they did too. I really like Infinite Revias.
That I almost want to rewatch. It was like I watched it a wicked long time ago. It was really, really good.
But would it fly today? I don't know. I don't know if Infinite Revias would fly today.
You know, it's a fascinating one. I actually read a little backstory on it. Remember the immortal classic Legend of the Overfiend?
Urutsukudoji?
Yes.
Yes. I think that might be late 80s, but yeah.
Yeah. They actually brought that over only because what is that show? I mean that movie. Why did my brain just shut off?
Kill Bill?
No, the anime movie it was like the first one that
Akira?
Yes, Akira.
Jesus Christ. Come on.
I literally was about to say it and my head just went blank. It does that all the time. Anyway, wear a helmet, kids. Anyway, like Akira popped off and they're like, we're just going to bring over any anime. And they bring over like the most horrific thing. Like, if you've never seen Legend of the Overfiend, it's about as close as you can get to hentai without it being hentai.
I mean, it's basically.
I mean, they brought it over as not hentai, though. It's just
Yeah.
like, this is fun anime.
And it's not, yeah, I mean, it's not Bible Black, but like, it's pretty hentai.
A hilarious story, by the way. Like, we only saw it back in the 90s because, like, a kid we knew that was a little bit older than us, his mother bought it for him because he was like into fucking, I don't even know what anime he was into back then. Whatever was
big at the time.
Big at the time, yeah. And she just bought it for him. He's like, you guys need to watch this. And I'm like, good God, what is this fucking?
What is this trash?
This alien is magic dick.
Oh my God.
What the fuck?
Tentacles everywhere. The explanation about censorship too, like the blurring of genitals, even animated ones back in the day.
Yeah, they had all kind of
like the tape. I remember it started out with that, like the explanation of it.
Yeah, it's like everyone's like dick is messy because of like okay,
blocked
weird.
out, like they're on an episode of freaking like Unsolved Mysteries or.
Oh, it's kind of funny
something.
because like they had that same thing at the beginning of The Blue Girl.
Yep, that was a hentai for sure.
Yes. Listen, Magic Dick Priestesses.
Magic Dick Priestesses. That's
that
is the Blue Girl.
That is about as close a description as I can give you.
That's yes. Okay, so I'm gonna stay away from hentai because that's whatever. Plus, I'm not. Apart from the ones that got kind of mainstream over here, I don't really know what the fuck the hentai was from the 90s.
No, not really my area of expertise.
Let's see. Nothing wrong with it.
Oh, I'll mention this because I think I brought it up last time. That one Violence Jack movie.
Oh yeah, we got to review those at some point.
It doesn't just have like sex and violence; it also has cannibalism. They run the gamut.
Yeah, Violence Jack, Uncle Go, man, like all his adaptations, like the Cutie Honey one, that wouldn't fly today.
No, hell no.
And notice how like much more boobtacular the 90s adaptation was than any other one.
The 90s was about titties.
Because the original design is, pretty light, right? Like she's athletic, right? Because it makes sense for the character. But now the 90s one, man, giant titties. Like that's all you have.
Everywhere.
All right, fair enough.
What
else was it? Edgy as hell in the 90s. Like Escaflowne was fine. That could still go. Gundam Wing and, all the Gundam stuff is fine.
Yeah, pretty
like,
tame.
That's all pretty tame. Like a lot of those Ghost in the Shell there's nothing in there. I don't think that would get you canceled nowadays.
Nah, not really.
It's it's got titties and violence, but that seems to be okay. Degeneracy is all right. Like hentai is not going to have a problem nowadays, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, things are. This is 80. Fist of the North Star.
I wonder.
It's like too manly. It's too manly to be.
Yeah,
It's too manly to exist.
They really have a problem with that stuff.
And that OVA did come out in like, it might have been 2000, but the 6-part that's just really good animation.
Yes.
It's like a side story.
Is excellent.
We gotta rewatch it. I gotta find it. Like, God, I'd love to buy it, but it doesn't exist.
It's true.
But Fist of the North Star, yeah, I don't know. Because like JoJo's just has an ability to exist. And plus, is JoJo's really manly? Or is it too manly? Or I don't know what's going on with JoJo's, man.
It's pretty fabulous.
JoJo's is fabulous enough to get by, right? Like, it's not going to catch a lot of shit. Matter of fact, it's well liked even among the woke community, right? But Fist of the North Star, I'm not so sure would slide by because it is not. It is not fabulous.
It's
not
filled
really.
with the most toxic of masculinity.
Yeah, at all times.
100% of the time.
Harem shows too. I do think if a harem show got really mainstream, it could be problematic. Like, is it wrong to try to pick up girls in the dungeon? It's probably like the closest I can think of nowadays.
Yeah.
And even look how much shit Shield Hero got. And Shield Hero was pretty mild.
Pretty tame.
Redo Healer got freaking
yeah.
done too, right?
Well, I mean,
But that's a little edgier, you know.
yeah, that's like actually 90s edgy.
Yeah.
The thing with Shield Hero was just that first episode, because they basically just made that princess like such an amazing bitch.
Oh, she's awful.
And then everybody whined like, "Oh, why'd you have to make a female like villain?" Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, and she falsely accused him of rape. Oh, can't have anybody pointing that one
Oh yeah,
out.
that was like the height of Me Too.
And and he's enslaving a demi-human child, even though that's not really how that relationship worked.
No. Yeah, so there's a lot of trigger points in there.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't. I'm sure if I had a list of 90s anime, I could come up
Genocyber.
with some. Yeah.
I mean, spoiler alert, we're probably going to do Genocyber next week. And then after that, we're doing that goddamn, like, mechanical-legged shark anime movie, if I could find it.
Mechanical Shark?
I was talking about it last night.
I don't know.
The Whiskey Erased Your Brain.
Oh, we watched it a while ago. Plastic Little.
Yes, Plastic Little.
Plastic Little Fly today? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean,
Little Girl Bath Time, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, right.
Strike Witches, for that matter. That's 2000s, but Jesus.
Strike Witches is bad, man. It's like, they're like topless
They're
10-year-olds.
And they're like 13 or 12. It's like,
No, they're like 11 or something.
whatever, man. It's like, Japan, come on. You really got to not do this.
Yep.
The
Yeah, I remember because I watched
one of the
I didn't mean
seasons.
to watch the uncensored one, but that was the copy I had, and it was just like,
It's
this.
drawings. Doesn't hurt anybody, but it was not.
Oh, no,
I was like, Japan, come on.
Listen, I get shit.
I don't
gear
need
less.
this. The rest of the show is actually pretty good. Like, you don't need to add this shit in.
That was just a perfect example of shit that would not fly over here.
No,
You
yeah,
know what
making
I mean?
it cringy as hell.
Actually, it might fly over here right now.
Don't get me started.
But 5 years ago,
Don't get me started. And that, the other thing we have to review, and it would probably fly a little better than the OVA that came out in the mid 90s or early 90s for Cutie Honey, but the three episode Anno one.
oh, that's the one with
I love that.
Doesn't it have all the weird extra characters like Donbei and shit?
No, that's the one. That's the early 90s one. That's the one with Mega Titty Cutie Honey.
Yeah,
That's the one with Donbei.
Donbei's a massacre for some reason. Like, he like flies around.
He's got like
some
missiles and all sorts of bullshit. I'm pretty sure that's the early 90s one.
Shit. Donbei's a funny character. Like, he's just random guy in fucking Great Massacre.
Yeah.
Like, he's the chick's dad, I believe. Like his oh no, I'm an idiot. No, Grandizer. Donbei's from Grandizer.
Oh, is he?
Because he's like the chick's, his like special lady.
Talk about something they like shot into the dustbin of history. Where's my fucking Grandizer remake?
Grandizer shows up in nothing, and it makes me so sad.
It's very weird.
Just because like that was my first introduction to any of those robots.
And Grandizer is super popular.
Well, they used to play random episodes of it on Force 5. I mean, Mazinger Z2, but
Yeah, but Grandizer's super popular. Like,
I know. I don't know.
Latin
why
America loves Grandizer.
You know
Middle
what's
East loves Grandizer.
Oh hell yeah! But I don't. They re-released them on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
They fucking look amazing. Like they cleaned up the animation so nice.
Oh, the
It's,
old ones,
like,
yeah.
so pretty. I don't think you can get them over here, but I downloaded some of them. They look.
someone will
fucking wild.
release them. Someone will. You know they will.
They might have already.
Or someone will release an English version, Region Zero at least. Even if they don't come out over here, they'll come out in Australia or England or somewhere.
Yeah.
They'll be available. Take up your Spanish. I'm sure they're out in Mexico already.
Anyway, because I had watched like even the original DVD release over here, like they just look like shit.
Yeah.
Well, like I can't believe the Blu-rays look that nice. Like
That's
so hard.
if
to
you
clean
still
up
have film
like that. Yeah.
If you still have actual film, you can do a lot. Like when you have videotape and not film, you can see that they can't clean it. Like the Gundam movies cleaned up awesome. They look great.
They do.
Zeta Gundam, not so much.
Oh, that weird when they try to like mix the animation in.
Oh, the movies were bad.
God, that was so bad.
Anyway, it is time.
It's time.
It's time to talk about Bio Hunter.
It's time to hunt Bio.
Not City Hunter, Bio Hunter.
Speaking of 90s edginess.
So this is a weird one that I forgot even existed. I'm sure I watched it. I do not remember it.
I only remembered it because like I remember we watched it like 20 years ago.
I'm sure we did. We were watching every OVA.
I did not remember anything
existed.
about it. I'm just like, bam, that's a good one.
And it was. So it's apparently based on a manga, but the manga was like one volume. So it's not, this may be the entirety of the manga for all we know.
It gets kind of a bad rep, but it's much better than people say it is.
I'd say it's an OVA. It's an hour, so it's not quite movie length.
Yeah. It's like basically 2 episodes of a show.
It's paced pretty well. It tells kind of a self-contained story. The story's strange as hell and doesn't really hang together in parts, but it's highly entertaining. So what is it about? Bio Hunter. So you have 2 scientists who are they're like geneticists and
they study like
biological researchers,
genetic diseases and shit.
And there's this disease going around. Forget about the freaking whatever pox or Rona or whatever you want to talk about. There's a disease going around that apparently infests women and turns parts of them into demons. They like grow demons out of demon faces, out of like, their knees, their thighs, their titties, whatever.
It's not just women.
Well, that's what it does to women. And then with the dudes, it like turns them into rapey, murderous monsters that need to eat the livers of young women.
Apparently.
Which is weird.
Yeah, it's weirdly specific.
It's very specific. It feels like with the designs the way they are, like a traditional demon or Oni, I think it's based on a myth. It's got to be based on a myth.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Yeah. Well, because they alluded to that like monsters from myths and stuff were actually this disease.
This genetic.
So it makes sense, now that I think about it.
This genetic disease. So, it's got some nudity. It's got some hyperviolence. There's a serial killer going around, killing. So there's the virus going around, and then there's also a serial killer going around. The serial killer is clearly, infested with this disease. So apparently, what happened is you die. It's almost like becoming a vampire, right? Like you die, and then the demon kind of reanimates you.
Yeah.
And to stay alive, looking good, whatever, like you have to eat the livers of young girls.
Apparently.
And you got to get rapey about it first, apparently, for some reason.
That's
hey, man,
how they like to do
it's done
it,
by the guy who did Ninja Scroll. What do you expect, right?
Yeah, he's into that.
A lot of the same feel.
Yeah, it really did.
A lot of the same feel as that. And a lot of the same kind of designs, too. So anyway, you get the 2 scientists. One of them is just kind of super dorky, but he's got a secret. Oh, the other one's like ladies' man kind of guy. But the one that's super dorky.
With his mustachio.
Somehow he's been infected with the virus, but he's able to control it. Although, they have the whole thing, of course, where it's like, oh, he might go out of control. He might eat somebody. And instead of just like partially turning into a monster, he like turns completely into a ridiculous, like furry monster demon thing.
Yeah. Which is pretty metal.
But he can control it, and he's, he uses that to fight other assholes. So there's like the mob's involved in this. There's like a politician. The politician is the one that's infected and serial killing, and spoilers, but whatever. It's an hour-long thing, and it's kind of obvious.
Yeah, you're not really watching it for the epic story.
Yeah, and the plot kind of just revolves around that guy. One, you get the action scenes. They're trying to save this girl that the monsters are coming after because she and her grandfather, the fortune teller, know about this guy's secret, so they're trying to kill the both of them.
Yeah.
And plus, this guy wants to eat her liver too.
There's like a weird, not a weird, but there's like a little bit of a side plot where like he doesn't know if he's still human enough to have a girlfriend, and then he meets this chick, and like they're hitting it off.
Yeah.
It's just kind of neat. But
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's got a lot of action. It's got a fairly simple plot. Some of it, like I said, doesn't hang together well because like the way the virus is, and then that just didn't like it didn't make any damn sense. Like why did you have to have the virus infecting women to have demon faces at all? That had nothing to do with anything.
No.
Like that could have completely not existed here and been perfectly fine.
And so you could have that whole beginning like sex scene where she's just complaining she's hungry the whole time.
Yeah, and then she
then,
like grows mouths and then eats the guy's hand. Like
yeah,
it's just weird. That's the weird part that doesesn't really fit together with the rest of it. You cut that bit out. And
that's why it's edgy.
It would make more sense.
That's why it's edgy 90s trash.
Yeah,
because that whole scene was there just for like shock value.
Anyway, what'd you like about it?
Oh man, you know it's like right up my alley. That's my thing.
Edgy 80s and 90s OVAs.
So good.
It feels very much like an 80s OVA, to tell you the truth.
Really
it looks like a 90s OVA.
Yeah, it was like
a little prettier,
it was 95, I believe, so it was like well into the 90s.
Yeah,
too.
but it feels more like one of those, you know, mid to late 80s super violent, you know, MD Geist style ones.
It was perfect because I don't like edgy when it's just like nihilistic and stupid.
Yeah, it's emo.
Like fucking what was the kid with the bat? Paranoia Agent.
Paranoia Agent.
Like
yep.
that just was not my game.
Satoshi Kon.
Yeah, it was like too. I don't know. It was too depressing. Like it was just like action, awesome violence, like shock value, but
a somewhat
not, like,
interesting plot.
And
you
like
know?
the characters were likable. They like no one was an asshole for no reason.
There was that
like,
fake Kuwabara.
Yeah, because a lot of the 90s, yes.
Who had the endless shot machine gun.
Yeah. Like a lot of those OVAs, they're like, they get too edgy where everyone's like kind of just an asshole, like an unlikable asshole. Like they get confused. Like people just can't always write like anti-heroes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they'll just like, no, that guy, it's kind of like the problem that Hollywood has right now. Like they write anti-heroes as just villains, and it's not like this person isn't likable. I'm not rooting for them. You know,
they take the actions of villains, but they have the backstory and the sympathy you're supposed to have for like an anti-hero, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, like you can't force sympathy. But these two characters are very likable. Like you could totally get this guy's plight. Like he just wants.
Yeah, they got some ball busting, you know.
Yeah, it's like very buddy
out.
cop, and like they're
Definitely
the whole reason they're like
going on.
doing this basically is so they could cure him. You know, they're just trying to study. They take samples from everyone they kill, and you know, blah blah. They're also working for the cops for some reason, or whoever.
Yes. Oh yeah, they work for the. I think that's the cops. It may also be the mob too, because
whoever.
Because he saved like the mob Don's daughter or whatever.
Awesome setup for a series. Like that's how I felt.
Yeah,
about it.
you know, I thought it was interesting,
and that's what most OVAs are. But like this one was really a pitch for a series.
Like I said,
you could
streamline some of the weirdness that doesn't need to exist, and I think you have a perfect. You could certainly do 13 episodes of it, 12 episodes of it, no problem. You could even do a long form series of it.
And I mean,
like,
you could get rid of the titties and have it on TV. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah. All right, you can still have them.
It's not absolutely necessary.
Just put it in the night time slot. Japan does that sometimes.
It's just there for fun.
As long as I don't have to watch some edited version in the U.S. where it's like terraformers, and I'm like, this whole screen is black bars and like mist. I can't see anything.
Yeah, it's like, what is even the point of
I don't
this?
even know what's happening.
Oh, there used to be some channel called, I think it was ATX or something. That was like the Edgelord channel in Japan. It had like every single thing like that.
All
it was
the edgy
always
stuff.
like at night on that network.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny.
Probably where Elfin Lead was on.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I don't know. I like this. It's good. It's
an hour. It's super fun.
It's a little bit more of an interesting idea. Like the idea behind it, I think, is a little more interesting. Even though there's a lot of tropes, like it's not something you see as often.
It holds up too. Like there's not a lot of plot holes that where you're just like, oh, this is ridiculous.
No, like I said, the only thing weird was like the way the whole virus worked and why that didn't make a lot of sense. Like, but everything else was fine. The animation is good, like you said. It's got a very Ninja Scroll feel going on, which I appreciate.
Looks like it definitely feels like
it was made about the same time. It's Madhouse, right? So it's early Madhouse stuff. So
hell yes.
It makes a lot of sense that it has that feel, right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything really bad to say about it. I mean, is it the first thing I'm going to tell somebody to watch? No. Is it like, to me, this is the thing you add to the 20 other one episode OVAs like Plastic Little and some of the other ones that are they're just fun. You go watch it, it's fun, it's fine. You forget about it, right? Like, people love things like Love, Death, and Robots, Robot Carnival. It's like that, except a little longer. That's all it is.
I couldn't remember what it was about, but I remembered it was good from like 20-some years ago. So
and I do like his demon design. It's very cool. It's definitely old-timey. It's very cool.
I liked it. It was cool. At any rate, I definitely recommend. It's definitely worth an hour of your time.
Yeah. Yeah, go check it out.
And that's about it. Another episode comes to a close.
Enjoy the long weekend if you're in the U.S. And if you're not in the U.S., make it a long weekend anyway. Why the fuck not?
Yep. Catch you next time.
Peace. Well, that's all for today, everyone. We'd like to thank all of you for tuning into another episode of the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour. Please remember to like and subscribe, and may your entertainment be always, entertaining.